Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Antoine is here. Ms. Bonnick?
Here.
Mr. Connor? Dr. Demas? Ms. Highcourse?
Here.
Ms. Rice is on her way. Mr. Young?
Present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And can I have a motion for our special meeting closed session?
Motion.
Moved by Young, supported by Connor. Is there any questions? All right. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will go to public comment. And I have Franco Felino. Pardon? Oh,
That button?
They'll
Okay.
help you.
Now it's on. All right, thank you. Good evening, Franco Felino, 253 Chandler Street. Tonight, I stand before you not as an individual, but as a spokesperson for a passionate and determined community group, Green Space on Prospect Street, now the nonprofit corporation known as Green Space Romeo. As you're all aware, for the past year and a half, we have poured our hearts and souls into this effort, driven by a shared dream of creating something extraordinary, something remarkable that will serve this community for generations to come. For the past 18 months, our community has rallied together, pooling resources, talents, and extraordinary commitment to raise funds needed to purchase the 4.6 acres of land on Prospect Street. This has been so much more than a financial effort. It has been a testament to the hope, unity, and the belief that when people come together with a shared purpose, they can achieve the impossible. This land is not just a plot of earth. It is the foundation of dreams, the cradle of possibilities, and the heartbeat of a vision that will unite our community. When you consider what we have in front of us, we have an exceedingly rare opportunity to seize the day, a day that may never come again in any of our lifetimes. This, once in a century, maybe more, opportunity to do something truly remarkable, to preserve our history, enrich our present, and secure our future. This opportunity isn't just a land sale. This opportunity represents the intersection of our community's history and our future, a distinct inflection point in time where people will ask what role you had in supporting the green space on Prospect Street. And you will be able to tell them you were a member of the board who helped pave the way to turn the vision of a community into a reality for the future. The fact that this community group has already taken the significant step of raising the necessary funds demonstrates not just our demonstration, or determination rather, but our ability to act and follow through. It shows how deeply we care about this land and the future it represents. Now, we need you to commit with us as well. If you're here tonight in the crowd supporting the green space effort, please just quickly raise your hands. Thank you. This community, this is our community. These are your constituents. These are the moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts and uncles of the students, past and present, of Romeo Community Schools. These people represent a group of nearly 500 strong, people who have had the back of this school district for decades. Now we are asking for you to have our backs. I know I'm on my last paragraph. Tonight, we urge you to be bold, to seize this rare opportunity, to say yes to a vision that honors the past, enriches the present, and builds the future. And if we can't come to a positive solution before this year ends, we are urging the new board members, I don't know if you're here tonight, 3 new board members, are you guys here? No, but urging the new board members to begin their terms in bold fashion by saying yes to our vision. Let us take this journey together as partners, as neighbors, and as people united by a common goal of making our community the best it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Can you
Oh.
clarify the record that the first one was to approve the agenda? You said closed session, and I just want to make sure.
Oh, the first one was to approve
was
the
to-
agenda that includes closed session is what, I meant to say.
Okay. I just want to make sure that for
Yes.
the record that the agenda was approved.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, carry on.
Now, I asked for a motion to go into closed session, which I think Mr. Young motioned and Mr. Connor supported. And can I have roll call?
Mr. Antoine is yes. Ms. Bonnick?
Yes.
Mr. Connor? Yes. Dr. Demas? Ms. Ikorst?
Yes.
And Mr. Young?
Yes.
And our plan is to come back out at 6 o'clock for our regular 6 o'clock meeting. Okay, can I have a motion to come out of closed session?
Motion.
Support?
Moved and supported. Can I have roll call?
Certainly can. Mr. Antoine?
Yes.
Mrs. Bonnick?
Yes.
Mr. Connor? Yes. Dr. Demas? Yes. Mrs. Ikorst?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Mr. Young?
Yes.
All right.
All right, before we close out of our closed session, we are going to read a statement. I offer the statement on behalf of our board. On May 16th, the Romeo Board of Education passed a revised Resolution 91 in response to the request from Green Space on Prospect Street, GSOPS Group, to provide an extension through September 2024. The approved resolution indicated that we would provide additional time for their group to fundraise, formulate a property acquisition strategy, and present a viable offer by November 1st. Additionally, the resolution authorized the administration to move forward with a request for proposal for the sale of the property starting in January 2025. We did not receive an offer by the November 1st deadline. However, we are acknowledging receipt of an offer on December 3rd from the Green Space Romeo. At this time, the board will be following the resolution, and any offers can be submitted during the RFP process. As a reminder to the public, the only requirement on the sale of property is that it must be voted on by the Board of Education in a public meeting. Now, can I have a motion to adjourn the closed session,
Motion.
the special meeting?
Support?
Moved by Young, supported by Antoine. Roll call, please.
Mr. Antoine?
Yes.
Mrs. Bonnick?
Yes.
Mr. Connor? Dr. Demas? Mrs. Ikorst? I'm a yes. Mr. Young?
Yes.
All right, we are now moving into our 6 o'clock meeting. I don't know why I have a different sheet here all of a sudden. Is that the regular one? Thank you, sorry. If I can call the meeting to order, can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Antoine?
Here.
Mrs. Bonnick?
Yes.
Mr.
Here.
Connor?
Here.
Dr. Demas? Mrs. Ikorst? I'm a yes. Mr. Young?
Present.
All right.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I'm going to need a motion for the agenda, and then we will make that change.
Motion.
Oh,
Oh.
support.
Okay, moved by Mr. Young and supported by Ms. Rice. And so we will remove J, which is closed session. Are there any other changes to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on to presentations. Dr. Robinson.
Presentations this evening, but we'll go right into our spotlight for tonight.
True.
Mr. Murray, do you want to get us started with our first spotlight for this evening?
I'm going to get us started by introducing Amy Wojciechowski, the principal at Amanda Moore. She has some students and one of her teachers here from 4th grade that are going to be wowing us with some poetry in their poetry cafe from one of their ELA units. This group was supposed to join us at our last board meeting as well, but we had some scheduling conflicts, so they're here tonight to, like I said, give us a cool performance. So, Amy, go ahead.
All right, good evening, governing board members and audience. I am Amy Wojciechowski, and I am the proud principal of Amanda Moore. Today I have with me one of my 4th grade teachers, Cassidy Tisler, as well as some of my students, and I will let them introduce themselves to kind of break some of those nerves. So come on up.
My name is Jacob Jantkowiak. I'm in 4th grade. I'm Hayden Bilbia in 4th grade.
I'm Robert Rotowski, and I'm in 4th grade.
I'm Ella Montville, and I'm in 4th grade.
All right, my students have been working so hard in their CKLA units this year. They recently traveled back to the Middle Ages, and they got to learn all about what it was like to be serfs and lords, knights, and more. Today, some of them are here to tell you about their current unit and all of their experiences with that.
So in their current unit, students are reading and writing poetry. They spend a lot of time reading different poetry mentor texts. As they're reading, they look at how poets use figurative language as well as play around with writing mechanics in order to create impactful poems. They then take their observations and apply it to their own writing. During this unit, they write 10 of their own original poems, which become part of a final portfolio. And a lot of this unit aims to embrace student creativity and encourage them to share their writing with others as well.
Okay, so here is Robbie to tell you what it was like entering his classroom at the beginning of the unit.
Entering the classroom felt fun. When I walked in, I saw new decorations around the room and around the door. There were signs on the windows, coffee cups on the door, and a poets and pastries sign for our class cafe. I could also hear kids in other classrooms talking about having hot chocolate, and when I entered my room, I saw chocolate milk and donuts on everyone's desk. I wanted to know why the room looked like that way, and I was excited to learn what we were doing.
So welcome in to our Amanda Moore Poetry Cafe. Oh, cliffhanger. It's all right. We'll let you know later how it was. But you got to walk in and you got to see, like Robbie explained, the teachers were able to set up the room for this really cool experience for our kiddos. There's tablecloths set in two with, lighting, with music. It almost felt like you were walking into this little cafe to help really inspire the students to feel like they were in a different experience and just make the learning a little more exciting and new for them in that moment. So here to share some of the work that the students produced during this amazing time are Hayden, Ella, and Jacob. So Hayden is going to share first.
I am by Hayden Bilbia. I am from dogs, from pillows and Target. I am from quiet and calm and friends always coming over. I am from trees whose branches surround my house. I am from deer and blankets, from Randall and Kevin. I am from humor and talkative, and from kindness, from helpful. I am from ice cream and fruit. I am from those moments.
And of course, just like in a poetry cafe, we'll give snaps.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't warn you ahead of time. We'll give snaps. Okay, next is Ella.
Ask Anyone by Ella Montville. Is it normal for dogs to dodge different objects? Do monkeys mop when they're mad? Can panthers pant positively? It's possible for cheetahs to cheat calmly, right? Leaping leopards leap lovingly, or do they not?
And our last author is Jacob.
Do they charge like McDonald's? Do they clash like mismatched socks? Do they howl like a dog? Do they sting like a wasp? Do they decay like an apple? Do they sour like sour candy? Do they wilt like a pumpkin? Do they ooze like slime?
Thank you to our amazing authors for being so brave and coming up and sharing your beautiful work. We got to hear poems like that throughout all of our 4th grade classrooms, as well as our 5th grade classrooms have a poetry unit, and they got to share some of the similar work with their students and their families by creating explosion like poetry books. They're really, really cool. So thank you guys so much for attending our poetry cafe, and the door is always open for you to come on in. Thank you.
Do we want to pose for a quick picture, or are we doing them all at the end?
We could do that now. Thank you,
I just
Mrs.
want it
Bonnet.
before the kids leave, just.
Yep.
Kids, come on up.
Come right in front
Come
here,
right in the
please, so
middle, right here, and we'll all scooch in. Yeah, you can do that too. If you just go maybe to the end and then Gus will come in. No, Gus will just scooch in by us.
Okay.
You come in? Yeah, just move those out of the way. Good job.
All right, thank you very much. For those of you parents and family members that are here with our fourth graders or our second spotlight tonight, once we get through the spotlight portion of our agenda, we'll pause for a couple seconds and let you head on to the rest of your evening. You're welcome to stay if you want, but there might be better things to do than a regular Board of Education meeting for you this evening. So we will take a short break, so those of you that are going to head on to the rest of your night can do that. Now, this is a little larger group, so we're going to put the screen up. Board members, we're going to ask you to kind of turn your chairs, and we're in for Pleasant Delight from our middle school choir. Love the additional holiday accents, thank you. Why doesn't everybody take one step forward so your classmates can get in behind you? There you go. All right, we got everybody in there?
Hello everyone. We are the 7th and 8th grade choir from Romeo Middle School. We are very excited to be performing for you tonight. Our first song is one that we will be singing at the Michigan School Vocal Music Association Festival in March and is called River Song by Andy Beck.
River rushing down the mountainside, river racing with the breeze, lead me through the forest and the trees. River rolling on a rocky bed,
Hope you enjoy and feel free to join in.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing a cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how the town raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, merry, 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 merry Christmas, merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their triple tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how their town raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, merry, 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 merry Christmas, merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
it up, Chris and you. I don't know what's the matter with the form.
Oh, okay. I saw an email come through. That is funny.
Oh, okay.
You want to share your device with you
Yeah.
and then I'll share with Wayne and Ryan.
The one he just shared? Oh, I'm like,
What?
Oh, yeah. Slideshow was that. Where's it at, Todd? Oh, I got it.
okay. Here you go. You can see mine too.
It's working back here.
It's just not there. Yeah.
I have Google
Signed.
No, I didn't.
Which one do we need, or we don't know?
It will just be this one. You don't need that one.
Should I give it to them now?
No, they haven't voted on it yet.
Well, I mean to fill out after the vote.
After, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm a nurse practitioner. I see patients. I get it. Patients, yeah. My administration is other that I continue. See? I have another job. I work for the group,
Well, we do have to do consent action first, anyways.
No? Okay.
and that I work also for the group.
That's what was,
That's what we had
that's what
earlier.
we had earlier.
All right, we got
It's
it.
okay. We have them up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we had that no signal
Did we lose Wayne?
Picasso picture thing earlier.
Are you-
But
is
I
everybody
shared the
ready?
slideshow with them, so we'll get through it.
We're good? Okay, we're going to come back to our meeting. Can I have a motion for consent action?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Young, supported by Rice. Ms. Rice? Tonight's consent action includes our general fund bills, our financial reports, our wire transfer, purchasing card expenditures, minutes from the regular meeting on November 11th, approval of the minutes from the special meeting on November 18th, and board policy update, which is the first reading of policies 2007 and 8007. Are there any questions or concerns on any of that?
Nope.
All in favor of consent action signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to informational updates and new business.
So one communication that I'm sharing with the board internally, we were originally scheduled to host the March Macomb County School Boards Association meeting. That was originally scheduled in spring break, and when the County School Boards Association moved it the week before, that was on the same night as our annual retreat for the academies. So we have asked South Lake School District to switch dates with us, which pulls us up to February 25th. So more information to come on the location and agenda. We don't control, who the presenter is and all that. That comes from, Superintendent DeVald and the County School Boards Association president. But wanted to make sure that the board had that on their calendar, that we are actually hosting February 25th now. And I just want to thank the South Lake School District and their superintendent and Board of Education for making that change with us. We have 3 committee reports tonight, so I'll turn it over. Mrs. Bonick, I think you're taking care of policy?
Yep. In our consent action tonight, we did do first reading of policy 2007 and policy 8007. The first one was the cardiac emergency response plan. That one didn't have to be approved until the 25-26 school year. We took a little bit of time to make sure we had the training and everything in process, and the district has said they are ready to move forward, so therefore the policy was in there tonight. And then policy 8007 is discrimination and harassment. This is the one that we've sent back several times to have language changed in it. And so the updated policy meets the request of the committee. and aligns with the policy update. So both of those were moved forward. We did just briefly talk about the health and safety administrative regulations and the discrimination and harassment that go along with those. Other items at the table, we did talk about conflict of interest. We used to have when we were with Neola, we had a policy that clearly spelled out conflict of interest, and as we changed to our new carrier, that language wasn't as clear, so we're looking at that, having that be more specific in the policy. So we are working with legal counsel and our policy vendor to develop that and support the clarity for the future. And then also Ms. Rice brought up creating a policy about ideological and political symbols to help administration and be more consistent, I guess would be the overall idea there. So we are working with legal counsel on that to develop a policy and regulations as appropriate. So that would come back for future talks on those two. So it was a pretty short agenda and pretty short meeting. And that was it for policy. We can move on to curriculum, which I think, Rachel, you're doing?
So we met just right before Thanksgiving with curriculum, and much of the meeting was taken up by a very energetic and awesome teacher from Romeo High School who was presenting a proposal for a world studies elective. And then we also discussed an elective for guitar. And these would be classes that students would be able to select for next year, the 2025-2026 school year. Both of these would be electives, and there was a lot of information. Hopefully you got to read through the notes, and the curriculum committee feels very passionate and strongly that these two things can be moved forward for approval. Mr. Murray spent a little bit of time talking about the PD day and some of the math vendors that came in for the new elementary pilot on November 20th, and they narrowed two companies down, Amplify Desmos and Bridges Math, which they are just looking at to see how they will best fit into piloting them in the winter without taking away from the current math curriculum at the elementary level. We talked a little bit about CKLA and some of the staff and parent feedback and some of the units that will be coming out in the new year for consideration. And then that was it. So the action items that you will see out of that committee would be the world, religion, and guitar electives at the high school level for approval tonight.
All right, facilities?
For the facilities committee meeting that we met on December 2nd, we have three resolutions before the board tonight. Two are from the technology department. The first resolution is number 90, which is phase 2 of the classroom technology presentation equipment for the 9th grade academy and for the high school, to cover that. The good thing about that is the district didn't have to go out to bid for that project again. What the previous awarded vendor is offering the same cost or unit pricing that was awarded for phase 1 of the project. So that was a good thing, and the district also communicated with our district attorney to make sure that that was a good thing, that it could happen, and that we weren't in violation of anything. So that was perfect. The other resolution tonight is for some site work for parking lots at Croswell, Romeo Middle School, Hamilton Parsons, and Hevel. That's resolution 85. So that's for earthwork, electrical, paving, and whatnot of the parking lots. So those three resolutions. In addition, we received updates on our Group 1 and Group 2 projects from Barton Mallow. Croswell is their inspections are completed. Everything's passed for that. Now they're working on punch list items for that. The Romeo High School, sorry about that. I do all the time. Romeo High School athletic field, they're doing punch lists for that. So everything's completed with that. Now they're going over with the owner and with Barton Mallow to make sure that everything's in place as specified and if anything needs to be fixed or corrected. So those are what the punch list items are. The additions for Amanda Moore in Washington are turned over for daily instruction now, and those are completed ahead of the January expected date, which we're glad for. The renovation at the administration building is in progress. They're awaiting delivery on a few things, carpet, furniture, and whatnot. We were given a change order update, where we're at with change order and contingency funding, and there was nothing that required our board approval. Everything was within the administration's ability to approve. Then Mr. Storm went through and presented with us a summer roofing project through use of the sinking fund for the middle school. And he also gave us an update on the lawn services contract that he's working on and the custodial services contract that he's working on. In addition, he talked about Hampar and their water treatment system. And we talked about that it would be best for him to go ahead and hire a consultant services with somebody with some real experience to get that straightened out that we're working on. So those were the things that we talked about in our meeting.
Is there any questions of anybody on any of those subcommittees?
So the last thing, Mrs. Bonnick, I just want to note to the incumbent board members, facility committee, we have several bond construction resolutions coming on the January regular meeting, so we'll review those with the current committee. We know after the organizational meeting is complete that then, committee assignments for 2025 will be confirmed, and we'll produce a schedule for next board year. But we are going to lean on the members and the current facility committee to get us through that January 21st meeting, so that we're ready for the January regular meeting. Okay, we'll go into the superintendent's report. Mr. Murray, Mrs. McFarland.
Good evening, everybody, once again. Just wanted to give you a couple quick updates from the elementary world. Thank you, Mrs. Eichhorst, for checking box number 1 for me on our math pilots. Between now and the holiday break, I have some virtual calls set up with the folks from Amplify and from Bridges Math to try and make some determinations about how to best fit pilot programs into the work that we're going to do in the second half of the school year, and not usurping so much time from teachers and kids in terms of them potentially teaching things that have already been covered. I mean, just the typical things that happen in a pilot. We're really looking to create a one-to-one correspondence, so maybe we can pull out one of our Engage New York units, let's say geometry, for example, and stick something else in there from Amplify or from Bridges. And so hopefully by the time we come back for the new year, we'll have a plan set. We still need to make some determinations about what teachers will pilot. We want representations from every building and every grade level. And so we will take the time to go through that process and then have some conversations about what we feel is the next or the best steps moving forward, and then bring that to the subcommittee and the full board in the spring for approval. On Wednesday, I have the opportunity to once again make my way down to Oakland University and join the newly minted teachers who fulfilled their student teaching obligations and are graduating from Oakland in December. It's always a great time to go down there and just see all the excitement, celebrate with those kids, do a little bit of recruiting maybe, and then wish them well into the holidays and finding a job mid-year, which can be an interesting time to find a job. There is opportunity, but it's not the same type of opportunity that maybe you have as we move into the spring and in summer in preparation for fall. And then along those same lines, thinking of fall, it may seem like it's a long ways away, but it's not in the world of enrollment. And so we've really started to ramp up our procedures internally to get enrollment off the ground. When we get into, in my mind, I'm thinking of young fives in kindergarten especially, but as we move into the springtime, as you may or may not know, last year we switched to a new enrollment system that's baked into Power School, and it wasn't without its challenges and its successes, but now's the time for us to be able to fine tune that and make this the process as seamless as possible for us. So I'm working with Vicki and her department, and then our elementary principals to be sure that all of the wants for us that can be accomplished between now and when things get kicked off can be taken care of, and we're hoping for an even better 25-26 enrollment season. So, questions for me? Thank you.
Good evening. I was very excited. One of our principals walked off with the clicker, so we kind of had to patchwork it. So we're on Murray's clicker now. So if the battery doesn't work, then we're in trouble. We did have an end time for our curriculum committee, so the curriculum committee didn't hear, but we also are in a 6-12 math pilot. We had 3 vendors come and present to a team of middle school and high school math teachers, and we've selected 2 to dig more into. One is called Imagine Math, and it's based upon the illustrative curriculum, which we currently use at our middle school, and also College Prep Math, CPM, which is what we currently use at our high school. So I have Mrs. Bojo. She's actually teaching a geometry unit in the next couple weeks with Imagine Math. So we're hoping to get some of our secondary math people in there to see it being taught because it's different for high school. They haven't seen that before. We are ramping up our final, hopefully tie it with a bow, master plan for Romeo Middle School. We have a steering committee meeting this Thursday after school with community members, nonprofit partners, no parents, but students and teachers. And we're gonna go through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure we meet the rubric that Ford NGL uses to designate the school as a Ford NGL school. Just wanted to remind the board, I'm not sure all of you are aware of this, but as part of the middle school experience, they're going to be working with nonprofits and community-based organizations. We are hosting a nonprofit exploration fair on February 6th at Romeo Middle School. And as of, I left at 2 to go to the high school, so at 2 o'clock today, we had 43 confirmed participants. So we're on it. So my goal is 50, but I'm hoping we can move past it. We have a couple meetings in the next couple weeks with some other community partners, so I'm hoping to add some more. But we're very excited about that experience that all of our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will have. And not all 1,200 will be there at once, but we're trying to phase it in and you know how much time each will spend and what their assignment will be. So our academy coach, Mrs. Racevich, has been working hard and introducing nonprofits during our time and really trying to get them prepped so they can actually have a conversation with an adult. We're going to practice shaking hands and making eye contact. So we're very excited about where we are right now in the planning. And then just I'm here if there are any questions about the 2 new course proposals that Mrs. Eichhorst talked about from our curriculum subcommittee. If anyone has any questions. The notes were pretty good and the course proposals I thought were solid.
And Mrs. Eichhorst's committee report.
Yes, it was fabulous.
Okay, no other questions?
That's all I have.
All right, I don't know which clicker does what, so. There we go. All right, so we'll move on to 2021 bond update. We heard a pretty comprehensive recap of the facilities meeting from Mr. Antoine. I'll start, Mr. Nelson is here. We have Classroom AV Upgrades Phase 2, which is to finish the work that happened this past summer into the fall at our elementary building in the middle school, and the auditorium upgrades with the sound system and board in the middle school auditorium, wireless microphones, and the control booth mixer replacement. Any further questions that the board might need answered before we get to the action portion of the agenda? All right, in terms of construction, we reviewed the bid tabs and the recommendation from Barton Mallow for the site work improvement project. I'd like to be a little bit more specific and stay out of the legal language. These are parking lot replacements, and despite the fact that this isn't the most compelling work that we do, we know how our parking lots are, and I'm super excited that we're going to finally be able to take sinking fund dollars and put them towards this. So the Croswell site is actually got a little bit of expansion to it and a little bit more in-depth work because of the changes we're making at the Croswell. It requires us to implement some stormwater retention that isn't currently in place. So that project is a little bit more extensive. Hamilton Parsons parking lot replacement. Hevel Elementary up to the drive that goes to the lot in the back, because that area may be impacted by future bond work. So, but we'll get the main lot and the drive into it done. And then Romeo Middle School, we know if we've gone beyond the middle school, the whole north side is designed and redone, but we have east, west, and then south, which is the front of the building. I also think it's important to note that there'll be significant sidewalk replacement and curb replacement as a part of these projects. And the funding is some bond money, but more significantly, we have sinking fund dollars. So we've got Barton Mallow friends here. If you have any questions, we certainly can get clarification. Any other questions on those? All right. So a couple things left in my report. I want to take a couple minutes. We have Resolution 88 on the agenda tonight that speaks to the approval of the update for the Romeo Community Schools Emergency Operations Plan. Unique to Macomb County, this is really a collective effort, and the county, with the support of the ISD and emergency management, has done school safety work and emergency operations plan collaboratively, and offered a countywide template to the local school districts, charter schools, and private schools that they can assume, and then, of course, make more specific to their schools and districts. So that effort continues, and just a few of the points that come from the front of the EOP plan. This document is current with state law. We refer to that as Public Act 436. You'll also hear it referred to as Senate Bill 933, I think it is. But Public Act 436, that was effective in November of 2021. The template is done in collaboration with several entities you see there, including local response agencies, and heavy effort from emergency management and a couple representatives from there, because that's what they do for a living, is emergency management and emergency response. You know, the guidelines and the evolution of this template also incorporates lessons learned. You know, unfortunately, lessons learned from incidents within, and then also things that we can learn from unfortunate events that happen elsewhere, not just in our Tri-County area, but really across the state and across the country. There are certainly elements from FEMA and the Department of Education. Because of the recent incident at MSU, we also had after action report learnings that we incorporated. An EOP is not all inclusive, but it is certainly a comprehensive guide or tool that should support school buildings and school districts in the event of an emergency. And there are portions of this document, significant portions of this document, because of the sensitive nature of them. These aren't public documents. They're for internal use, and the board has the ability to discuss them further in closed session as set forth by the Open Meetings Act. So just talking a little bit about the history of this work. There's been several iterations prior to 2019 in the county EOP template. But in November of 19, the original version of this was approved, and it was updated actually at that time to make sure that all 21 school districts could apply for competitive Michigan State Police school safety funding. With the recent advent of originally Section 97 and now 31AA, that competitive grant program doesn't exist anymore because school districts and public charter schools are allocated money through the state budget. In February of 2020, it was amended because that was the initial notion of being compliant with Public Act 436. In November of 21, we changed some of the standard response protocols, and this is when the hold and secure protocols were implemented. And then more comprehensively, this recent update to the template that really was probably about a 6-month effort was approved in September by the county superintendent's group. And so there are some specific things that were intended from the 2024 update. Alignment to Public Act 436. There's 13 elements in the law that are to be represented, and we had some improved work in a few of those areas that wasn't represented in the old template. This also allowed for emergency management and leadership from the county to take another look at this and approve some upgrades. And this also supports the biennial review requirement that we're asking the board to adopt tonight. The document really needed some streamlining. It had significant formatting issues, and we tried to get things that needed to be updated annually or regularly into appendixes in the EOP so that the front of the document could stay static over time and require little updating. Other things, I think one of the most significant things that we did not have in the previous EOP template was the extensive work that's done in the county around behavioral threat assessment. And we know that our district is a leader in the county in that work. So we have a whole comprehensive appendix in the EOP now around our behavioral threat assessment procedure. Updating and furthering of reunification procedures, improvement to the continuity of operations that's cited in the law, and then uniquely the notion of how schools will respond to threats after hours and off-site, athletic events and things like that that happen after hours. There was specific mention in Public Act 436 that districts should include, elements of that and procedures for that in their EOP. So in terms of the biennial review, I talked about the 13 specific areas to be included. There were some outdated items in the old EOP that are not required by law and really aren't needed. There was a chapter of time in the early 2000s, there was a lot about chemical, biological, and radiological incidents, and none of that is spoken to in terms of the requirements of the law and really as a significant footprint in school safety planning and emergency management planning. The biennial review requires that one law enforcement agency that has jurisdiction over the district be involved, and we've met that. That the Board of Education adopts it at a public meeting, and that once that process is done, the MDE would receive that notification and they update the Michigan State Police. So in terms of specifically what we've done here with the county template, because now it's our job to make it our own and create a district EOP that then we turn into school and facility specific EOPs. We had membership or participation in the county safety committee work over that 5 to 6 month period. We have reviewed all these 13 elements since last spring with our district safety team and our emergency responders, and in some case taken input from them to make what we have in the manual better. Our new director of safety and security That's one of the first things I gave him before he really knew anyone around here, including me, to spend some time with that. So Mr. Thomas has done a thorough review of the document. I would remind the board that our vulnerability assessment that SEC did about a year and a half ago now required a review of the EOP. Any subsequent ones in the future would do the same. And then I'm grateful to the Romeo Police Department that, you know, they have signed off on our biennial review, awaiting the approval of the board. So with that in mind, I'll take any questions that the board has prior to we getting to the action part of the agenda.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to add comment. You know, as part of the security committee, I took the binder home. That I know we saw pieces of it, a lot of it, but I wanted to read it cover to cover if we were going to vote on it tonight. And it's a lot of comprehensive work. You can be proud of all of the people that put it together. It's very thorough. I was very impressed when I was reading through it. I do have notes that we can talk about at the next security meeting that are more just for clarification, but I think the board, from a security standpoint, can feel good about approving this tonight.
Mrs. Rice, I know you got a little extra time with the process. Any other comments from you?
No extra comments, I'm good
Okay.
with it.
All right. Okay, the last part of my report. We're going to play a numbers game here. So, and there's some significant behind these numbers. You know, there'll be a change on January 1st to the Board of Education. And so when I think about that change, the first number that comes to mind is 44. And we have 3 public servants who represent 44 years of service on the school board, and that's to be commended. I have to do a little bit of estimating, but I can do that because I live it firsthand. That's probably about 900 meetings in between regular meetings, special meetings, workshop meetings, committee meetings, ad hoc meetings, steering committee meetings. So I would guess either side of 900 meetings, and that is probably 2,500 resolutions or asks of action over the course of those 44 years from these 3 gentlemen. So we want to say thanks, and we know that January is Board Appreciation Month, and you'll be off to other public service, I'm sure. So we appreciate, you know, the work that you've done this past year, certainly, but more importantly, we just want to thank you for your years of service to the school district. I'm not sure everyone really understands how this is truly community service. This is not a job. You do this because you care about our district, our kids, our staff, our buildings, and much more. So we have a small token of our appreciation, and of course, we want to get a picture with the 3 of you in the board together. So Dr. Demas, would you make your way down here, please? Mr. Young and Mr. Connor.
Yeah, and they have a plaque.
All Antoinette and I want to do is get these in your hands before we smear them.
And a stipend for your 900 meetings. A stipend, $1 per meeting.
I'd take it.
I'll take it.
I'd take it. That's a vacation.
Oh my gosh,
Why don't you come down here and we'll be like we do with
$900
Dr. Demas.
after
Thank you very much for your service to the district.
Right.
Seriously.
That looks pretty, though. I like the red.
Aw,
Come on out here, Dr. Demas.
who designed them? Antoinette? Yeah, you did.
See, I think, well, why don't you take a picture of the 3 of them with you?
Okay.
I mean, unless you all want to be in it, but I feel like it's kind of there.
That guy lives down the street from me.
Who?
Hooks Engraving did it.
Very nice.
It's a picture.
Okay.
It's really pretty.
That's my report.
Okay. Moving on to the final business that these three have to do. First, there would be public comment, but I did not receive anything on tonight's agenda. Just want to make sure. The first one is Employee Services Resolution 84, which is the personnel update.
Motion.
Moved by Mr. Young, supported by Connor. Sorry, I just needed to get my agenda there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We had a motion and support of the Employee Services Resolution 84. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next one is Resolution 85, which is the 2024 RCS Site Improvement Project
Motion.
Contract Approval.
Support.
We had a motion by Mr. Young and a support by Mr. Antoine. And this is for the contracts, and this comes out of bond funding. Implementation summer of 2025. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next one is the Academic Services Resolution 86, which is the District Automated External Defibrillator AED refresh. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Support.
Oh, moved by Rice, supported by Eichhorst.
There he is.
Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next one is Academic Services Resolution 87A, which is a new course proposal for World Studies Religion. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Ms. Eichhorst,
Support.
supported by Ms. Rice. Any questions or concerns? This includes general fund for the update. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Can I have a motion for Academic Services Resolution 87B, which is guitar?
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next one is the Superintendent's Resolution 88, which is the RCS biannual EOP review approval. Can I have a motion? Mr. Young,
Support.
is supported by Ms. Eichhorst and Mr. Connor, whichever one you wrote down.
I got you.
Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Moving on to Business Services Resolution 89, which is our summer tax levy. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or concerns? Seeing
I
none.
have
Oh,
Mrs. Lasky here.
okay.
So
Is she
I
collecting?
overlooked that in our informational update, so if there's any questions of the board before we approve.
Summer.
Summer. Okay?
Got you.
All right. Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you. We had a motion and support?
Yep.
Yes, we did. Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next one is Technology Resolution Number 90, which is the AV upgrades, Phase 2.
Motion.
Moved by Mr. Antoine, supported by Mr. Connor. Questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next one is Technology Resolution 91, which is RMS Auditorium Upgrades Phase 1. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Antoine, supported by Connor. Questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, Motion carries. Next one is the Board of Education Resolution 92, which is the superintendent's annual evaluation. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Mr. Young, supported by Mr. Demus. This is just a reminder for the audience that the Michigan Revised School Code requires that Board of Education's annually evaluate their superintendents. We do this on an approved evaluation tool. This board also got trained on that tool. It evaluates the performance across 6 components, which is visionary leadership, policy and governance, instructional leadership, communications and community relations, organizational management, and professionalism and ethics. At the end of that evaluation tool, by law, we have to assign one of 3 rankings, and we have to do that by December 30th. And this Board of Education has identified Dr. Robinson as an effective, which is the highest that you can have in the survey. And further, that board members will be providing some update and some mid-year information to Dr. Robinson regarding the evaluation and things that we believe are going really well, and some things that we want to work on in the future. So with that, it would be an effective evaluation rating, and all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. We are on to board discussion for the good of the district, and I know our 3 outgoing probably have a few things they would like to say first. Do you want to speak?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I?
Yes.
Well, this evening, I have many different emotions: gratitude, pride, and fulfillment. Serving on the Romeo Community Schools Board of Education for 20 years has been a great honor. I am thankful for the opportunity to have served this community. I have so many to thank. First, my fellow board members, both past and present, who have been my colleagues in thoughtful debate, decision-making, and challenges. Thank you for your accomplishments and your dedication. Thank you to the Romeo community for your support and trust. This board reflects your needs and your aspirations for our children, and your voices have guided us. You've shown that education is a shared commitment. To the students, you are the reason we are here. Watching you grow, learn, and achieve has been the most rewarding part of this work. Everything we do is with your future in mind. To our faculty and staff, you are the heart of the district. Your dedication, creativity, and passion for teaching inspires us all. Thank you for your tireless work in shaping the minds and characters of our students. And to our administrators, thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your commitment to excellence. It has been a privilege to work with you as we've navigated the complexities of hiring, policymaking, curriculum development, and resource allocation. I am particularly proud of our collective work for the development of the new Romeo High School, which houses the academies. This facility is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together. It's more than a building. It's a place where innovation and opportunity converge, preparing our students for the world beyond our doors. I also need to express a very special thank to Wayne Connor and Chris Young, who are leaving the board after many years of service. Wayne proudly represented our district and as he served in various positions on the Macomb County Board of Education Association. As a Romeo graduate and a young board member, Chris was especially instrumental in the establishment of the new high school. As members of the High School Development Committee, we visited numerous high schools, bringing back ideas that have come to fruition. It has been a pleasure to work with both of you. As I step away from the board, I do so with confidence in the future of Romeo Community Schools. Our work as board members may often be behind the scenes, but its impact is profound. I encourage all of you to continue striving for excellence and to keep the needs of our students at the center of every decision. Having recently seen the movie Gladiator II, I'm reminded of the quote first stated in the first movie, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this incredible journey. I will forever cherish my time on this board and the work we've accomplished together for the benefit of our students and our community. Thank you.
We started this journey 12 years ago. I was the youngest member on the board and elected, and I believe I'm still the youngest member with the last name Young. But I don't feel that way. I feel more like a Chris Old at this point. We've had a lot of fun. From when we started, and the concept of a 20-year-old running for something like this, for not going for validation, for not going for money, for not going for fame, other than to ensure a quality of education and to diminish the comment that was made when I attended these schools that Romeo was Hicks. I can tell you now, while we celebrate our farmers, our cultivation, we can also appreciate Romeo is current, Romeo is the future, and we are providing every asset to our students to succeed in life. We ensure the safety and security of our buildings every day with the phenomenal staff and volunteers that we have in our buildings. We receive inspiration from our faculty members at these meetings, and you see it in the eyes of our students, how excited they are when they learn something new. When they go on the world stage or the national stage and Romeo is represented, it is beautiful, whether it's in the format of a play, robotics, or a sport. Romeo is always at the pillar of one of the best school districts in my eyes in the state of Michigan. While we took ideas from some of the top 10 schools, we will continue to strive long after we're off this board and the current board, but to keep the image alive that always shoot for the best for our students, always ensuring excitement for people to want to work here, and to ensure we have the safest facilities so that future can always be inspired. Thank you.
I didn't really prepare a speech, but it's always been good working with everyone on the board, and Gus, Chris, and I, we all worked on the academy as much as we could. And the academy is the best thing in Macomb County, I think, for no matter what. People are waiting in line to get in our academy, which says we have a great school system. And safety, the secured entrance, and all the safety buildings is the best thing anywhere. No one else has that. And I've been at the county level at different meetings representing Romeo. And I've been to the state level representing Romeo. They know who we are at the state level and at the county level. And our robotic team is the top 5% in the world. And I just appreciate being on the board. And if anyone needs anything at all, I'm always available to help. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to Gus, Chris, and Wayne. You guys, it's been an honor to work with you guys for these years. It's good to come together as a team. It's come together to agree and disagree, and then come up with a resolution and a solution together. That's why there's 7 of us, so that works out well. Gus Demas, it's hard to believe. I've known Gus, if you don't know it, when I first got out of high school, I was working at Macomb College, worked with him for about 10 years, didn't see him for about 20 years, and then got onto the board and got to spend another 12 years with Gus. So I think, you know, you've been a great leader, great mentor to me. I appreciate it, and thanks for everything you've done for Romeo and for us. Thank you.
I just want to say to all the board, you all seem very much like a fixture to me as a Romeo parent because you have always been here. So this will be a little strange for you to step down. But I just want to personally thank you for welcoming me with open arms and patience and grace 2 years ago. It has gone by very quickly. so far. But Wayne, my first memories of you is being very involved with parents and students at our bowling fundraisers as an elementary parent, and that always stuck with me, that was important to you, and I appreciate that. Chris, your passion for things, I will miss that, and it's been great working alongside you on a lot of things, and Gus, just always the conversations about education and even getting to visit with your wife, I will miss that, so hopefully you'll still come around, but just thank you so much for your years of service.
I would like to say that I'm definitely going to miss the wide range of thought-provoking and interesting conversations that each of you have brought. It's been just refreshing, I think, to have so many different ideas circling, and then you have to actually think about somebody else's point of view, and it was just really cool to experience that with you guys. You're each so different and unique, and Wayne, sorry guys, I'm gonna miss you the most.
Yes, as the person who has served alongside all three of you as well, it has been a journey. What I love about it is the pavement that we've set, and we've traveled some bumpy roads, but we got to some smooth sailing, and I think there's a person in the audience that once said that we are the most effective board that they know in this community, and I'm proud of that fact, and we say it all the time, and I know it doesn't always look like it, because when people come to our business meetings, you know, we've worked out all the kinks, and by the time we're voting, we've done our homework, we've read the emails, we've sat in subcommittees, we've challenged administration to bring us something new or different. So that's why it might look like everything is just hunky-dory all the time, but we do a lot of work, and so the numbers game that was up there, when it talks about how many resolutions that were passed, you know, multiply that by the number of pages of board packets that we've read, changes, amendments, subcommittee meetings, just doing our homework, making visits to other places. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this volunteer job that we often talk about. So I love where we're at. I'm going to miss these three gentlemen, but I also know that, you know, that's part of leaving a legacy is we pave a road for new people to come in and for new people to do work. So my favorite stories amongst all three of them is Chris being our youngest newbie. You know, he just had wild ideas. Like Catherine said, there's a reason 7 of us are so different, and he wanted to have sustainable energy for our high school long before people talked about the word sustainable energy. And Wayne, you know, just always wanted to make sure that he was representing us at state and county levels and making sure people knew who Romeo was. And my beloved Gus, who just never would settle for us to say we're X in the county. He wants to be top dog in the state, in the nation, constantly talking about actually where the rubber meets the road, and that's the education piece of it, because there's a lot of other stuff that we do, but at the end of the day, we deliver education, and we support the people that deliver the education. So I know you're not going away. All three of you are not going away. We're going to put you on committees, because that's what we do here in Romeo, so I want to make sure that's known. And then as a sidebar, Gus did receive an Emma Award this weekend from the Chamber of Commerce for his service to the community. And we also had Mike Lee as a teacher receive an award there as well. So, you know, the accolades could just keep rolling in. So with that, I just want to make sure you guys feel really good about your last meeting. And we probably should, you know, have a drink. We've never done that, but maybe it's time. No, we're going to break tradition. And then I know, I think I see all three of our newbies coming, and they're already starting to work with us as well. We start our first orientation tomorrow, so that paved road is just going to continue on, and new people are going to be sitting here, but the same priorities are going to be held strong, and the same commitment to our community is going to be there, and to the students most importantly. So with that, we do have public comment one last time, and I believe we have Kim Voss.
Hello. My name is Kim Voss. I am a grateful resident of Romeo, proud member of the Sault Ste. Marie Chippewa people, part of our new Green Space Board of Directors, and lifetime educator. It was my great privilege to dedicate 40 years of my life to public education. As a history teacher at Chippewa Valley High School for 27 years, the first principal at Dakota High School's 9th grade academy, and also a 5-year central office administrator for Chippewa Valley Schools, I am really honored to speak to you on behalf of the Green Space of Romeo. One thing that particularly shaped me as an educator was working with curriculum leaders, becoming deeply familiar with the Michigan State curriculum standards, and the use of student data to positively inform student instruction. I also understand, as a result of my own experience, how every school board plays an integral role in overseeing everything that impacts student learning in our community. Consequently, I am confident that you see the benefits of having Green Space of Romeo purchase this property on Prospect Street as a way of honoring the land as a place of reflection and learning. What we do matters now. I have to believe that Mr. Dickinson would approve. Over 200 members of our own community do also approve, enough to commit financially to support our initiative. We are excited to create a beautiful green space that is a living tribute to nature and the land that is ever more scarce in our own community. Our green space will recognize the indigenous roots of Romeo and the early efforts of Romeo settlers to create and sustain opportunities that provide for learning. Long ago, they understood that learning was fundamental to preserving our still young democracy, as well as building a sound future for their children. We know these early instincts are still the fundamental wish of every citizen and also every parent. This is why this place matters to us. Green Space of Romeo passionately believes that these values are still worthy and that you also share these fundamental core values. I thank you for your willingness to give us time. We needed to develop an intentional plan for the land, to legally incorporate as a nonprofit that will protect this land, and to raise the needed funds to make this transaction possible. I also thank you for taking more time to review our offer and hope you will find a way to do what is simply a good thing that will benefit so many so far into the future. Thank you for hearing my thoughts.
Thank you. All right. To do our honors of our adjournment, would our outgoing, yes, would you like to make a motion, Dr. Demas, to adjourn the meeting? And who wants to second it?
All three of you at the same time.
All right, who would like to second it?
Let's go.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Merry, happy holiday